Unit 3. Work shift. Please listen carefully. Now listen to a conversation between two students. I hear you got that job that was posted on the Department Employment Board.
Yes, I did. I start next Monday. I'm really happy with all the terms and conditions, but I have one important decision to make.
Well, congratulations. So what's the big decision?
Well, it's really not a big problem. However, my employer wants to know during my first week what schedule I want to work for the rest of the summer.
Okay, so what are your options?
They are two very different schedules, and because of the length, there will be no rotations. So, after my orientation, I must decide which schedule I prefer. Here are my choices. Either 10 days in a row, followed by 5 days off, or the standard 5 days in a row, Monday to Friday, with weekends and every second Wednesday off.
Well, they both sound great to me. They have even worked in 2 extra days off a month. I know which one I'd choose. Definitely the 10 days on, 5 days off. If you want to do any camping or traveling this summer, that shift is ideal.
I know that shift sounds really great. It's just I hear the job is pretty grueling. I don't know if I can handle 10 days straight. I tend to like the regular Monday to Friday shift with those extra Wednesdays off. With that schedule, I only ever have to work 5 days straight. Then I get a break every second Wednesday. I'm worried that if I choose the 10-day schedule, I will be so tired by day 9, I won't have the energy to do anything on those 5 days off.
You have a point. Maybe you should see how tough the work is during the first couple of days. It's better to follow your instincts on this one. If you pick your work schedule around summer fun, your job may suffer, and you could spoil your summer too.
Thanks for your help. Have a great summer.
Briefly describe the problem that the students discuss in this conversation, and give your opinion about the male student's advice. Include your opinion about the female student's way of deciding. Unit 4. Working holiday or traveling. Please listen carefully. Now listen to a conversation between two students. Hi, how are you doing? Have you been to a lot of parties, or are you the type that studies right up until the exam starts?
I always study hard and get good grades, but now all my examinations are finished and I have to decide about holidays. I know I want to go to Australia.
Wow, Australia sounds fascinating, and they like to have great parties. If you already know where you want to go, what decision do you have to make?
I must make up my mind whether to spend my time there traveling and seeing the sights, or whether to spend my time on a working holiday. Both ideas are appealing to me.
Yes, I understand completely. If you spend your holiday traveling, you won't have to work. Not working always appeals to me.
I like the idea of working. By spending my time working, I will get to know real Australians and experience their culture, but I will not be able to see very much of the country.
Oh, yes, I understand. You will make friends with Australians, and they will invite you to their wonderful parties.
Australia looks like a beautiful nation, though. I really would like to see some beautiful scenery.
How much would that cost?
I think it would be expensive. You have helped me decide that I would rather take a working holiday, familiarizing myself with Australian people and culture, while at the same time saving money for my next year of studies. I can always go sightseeing on the weekends, and I really must save money for next year.
I have just decided at this moment not to continue my studies. I am going to move to Australia and work in the hospitality industry. I think that would be fun. Briefly describe the problem that the female student discusses in the conversation. What is your opinion on the female student's plans? Unit 5. Mountain climbing. Please listen carefully. Now listen to a conversation between two students. Finally, spring break is upon us. This has been a really tough semester. I'm looking forward to the break. Do you have any plans for the break?
Actually, yes. I'm planning on climbing Mount Baldy and then camping for a few days on the summit.
That sounds really ambitious. Have you been doing a lot of climbing?
No, not really. I'm a bit concerned about my fitness level. I'm going with the local climbing club, and they have suggested that this climb has medium fitness and skills level.
Well, you seem pretty fit. Don't you go swimming a few times a week?
Yes, I swim for about an hour 3 times a week. I also started to run, too. I guess my biggest concerns are slowing the group down and also getting in over my head with my lack of climbing skills.
Have you ever gone on a mountain climb before?
No, just day hikes. And with this climb, there is some steep terrain. They want us to bring all the gear, ice axe, crampons, ropes, you name it. And to be honest, I have never used any of these things before. In fact, I have to rent all my gear.
Well, if you want my advice, I'd go for a day hike in the novice level. Or why don't you take a climbing workshop instead? If you're unfamiliar with all that equipment, you definitely will slow the group down, and by the time you set up camp on the summit, you won't be too popular. It may also be dangerous. It's the individual climber's responsibility to themselves and the group to be honest with their skill level. Who wants to be roped to a novice when climbing a steep cliff?
You're right. I think I should cancel. Thanks for the advice. Maybe there's still space in one of the day treks instead.
Briefly describe the problem that the female student has. Do you think the advice the male student gives is reasonable? What would you do if you were in the female's position? Cancel the trip or try the climb?
Unit 6, Capital Punishment. Please listen carefully. Now listen to a conversation between two students.
I joined a debate club this week called Argument 101, and I have to present the opening debate this Friday. I have already chosen my topic, but I am having a hard time coming up with a good introduction in such a short time frame.
Well, I guess that's why you joined the debate club. In no time, you will be an expert. What's your topic?
It's on capital punishment.
Well, that's a tough topic to start with. What do you think of the death sentence anyway?
I realize it's a highly charged subject. That's why I picked it for my first debate. Personally, I don't believe in it. I don't subscribe to the belief that one can correct a wrong with another wrong. Capital punishment isn't even a crime deterrent. For instance, in the United States, statistically there are more murders and violent crimes per capita even with the death penalty. Even though murder is an extremely heinous crime, I always think of the what-if factor.
What do you mean?
Well, what if the person executed were innocent? There have been so many cases where someone has been charged with murder only to be found innocent several years later. Wouldn't it be awful to have found this out too late? It's bad enough that the innocent can spend years in jail.
I have an idea on how you can start your debate. Read a list of the names of the wrongfully accused, innocent people who would have perished if there were a death penalty. It's a natural progression to your opinion, and I must say it could be quite dramatic. It's way more effective than going with the two wrongs don't make a right argument.
What a great idea! I better get on that list and do some research. Thanks!
The students discuss two possible solutions to the debate the woman is discussing. Describe the woman's initial problem, then state which of the two solutions you prefer and why.